Welcome back to Islands of Insight, my children. This is Key of W, and if you're wondering why this puzzle looks like it started, it's because I started the game and clicked my mouse and there was a puzzle right in front of me. So we'll do it. We'll just do the puzzle. A little hidden pentat here. So the last thing we'd done was this found the difference area, which was all about those tetrominoes. But there's some puzzles that have appeared in here since we last played, so that naturally means we're going to distract ourselves with some puzzles. Am I blind, or where are they hiding, these guys? This one's a little harder than the others, I guess. Oh, there's one there. And there's one here. There might be one up here somewhere. But it doesn't look like it. That's a sightseer. That'd be a gnarly place to hide one back here, but it is not hidden back there. This isn't exactly how I wanted to start the episode, but that's okay. I don't have a lot of control, as I've probably said in multiple episodes. The way this game goes, you just get the one file to work with, and anything you do automatically changes it, so I kind of have to just go with the first take on everything. There are backup files you can do, but it is a pain in the butt to restore backup files every time. If I don't, like what I did, I just deal with it. I am not doing well on this hidden pentat puzzle. They're not, like, in the trees? Maybe there is one up on top of this thing. Oops. No, doesn't look like there's anything up here. Maybe there's one on top of this one somewhere? I do see some juicy lore. I would say this is a pretty good hidden pentat if it can keep me stumped for this long. I'm used to being able to solve these much faster. Only so many places you can hide an object, if you know what I mean. So I'm kind of impressed that they managed to get me this long. Whoa, it's been like 2-3 minutes of doing this puzzle. At least get that one while we're at it. Hey, leveled up. We'll get this terrible hat, Olivine Orchid Zenith. I'm pretty sure I get that one. There, Olivine, Anubis Sanguine. I don't really like that hat at all. This one's okay. Some of these are just a little bit too ostentatious to wear without feeling silly. Alright, what is the trick? There's usually some kind of thing, like if I'm not finding them, it's because I'm not... There's nothing like on the lower end here. I mean, I've just killed myself, but that's okay. Goodbye, world. There doesn't seem to be anything up high. The two that I found were both in this area. There was one at the log there, and there was one up here somewhere. Don't remember where. But, bonus points to this puzzle for actually not being easy. Hidden pentats usually are quite easy. That's a little higher than I want to go at the moment. I hope it's not one of the bugged puzzles. I'm pretty sure the mod that I'm running is supposed to have fixed the bugged puzzles. There are a couple puzzles where the hidden pentad relics are in the ground, so to speak. Like they're like buried a little bit in and you can't click on them. Which I imagine would be a very frustrating bug to deal with because it makes them impossible and you can't solve the puzzle. But I think those have been fixed. It's somewhat understandable to have a couple of bugs like that in a game this large, but still, that's quite annoying to have a game that you can't finish because of a bug like that. Just checking the edges again. I really only need to find one more, because then the bubble will start to shrink, and then I can do something else and come back when the bubble's a lot smaller. So after that, I'm going to go do this logic grid I didn't do. And I guess I just didn't do it. It was part of the enclave, or the trial, and I just forgot it. So we're going to have the same rules as before. All of this, all light regions have area 5, so that is going to force this to be the I shape. What am I talking about? This is going to be your S shape. That is forced. Let's see. This could be the O shape or the L shape. Can't be the T shape. We got I-S-O-L. Yeah, it can't be the T. So it's either this or that, which means well, it could. No, it can't be the L shape here. It'd be the L shape here or there. So this is definitely one of the pieces, which means this or that. So those are both white pieces no matter what. Let's see. This can't be it, because then that would make another S shape. Where am I going to put a T shape? I can't put it here. In fact, if I have a black piece here, I'm stuck, because I can't make... I'd have to make an L. I could make an L here, but then the trouble is I'm going to be out of space there. So this has to be a white space. If this is a black space, I can't do that. I would have to do this, which is that. So that's white as well. If this is a black space, we're in trouble. So we definitely have this. This has to be L or T. It can't be L, it'll block that in, so that's the T shape. That overloads. So this is the L, and that's the O. That's a cool one. So anyway, now that the bubble has shrunk a fair bit, I suppose. Oh, it's going to be on this side somewhere because this part of the bubble is not shrinking. Is this part shrinking? Let's give it a little bit more time to shrink. Look at that thing move. And I'll find some of the other puzzles around here, like this Armillary Rings puzzle right here. We're gonna... almost. We're gonna have to get right in. There's probably an angle that makes that less awkward, but that was fun to try to find it at the worst angle possible. So I've definitely got another leitmotif around here somewhere. I just gotta find out where I'm supposed to stand. It's just big pieces. Oh my god. Are we kidding? This is right here the whole time? Okay. So now that I've done that, we can sort of get to the episode proper, I suppose. That was a good 10 minutes of faffing about. What I want to do in this episode is start, clearing more of this out. So we've done the highest viewpoint. Oh no, we haven't, because we have to do all of the logic grids. So let's head back there and kind of clean that one up today. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. They are the hardest puzzles, but there are only 5 of them instead of 10. Because in the episode where I think it was 2 episodes ago, I don't know, I recorded it a while back. Wait. Here we go, let's just have fun with this. I think I'm going to need to hit a rift in order to make this one work. Where is one? I need something that'll send me back up without touching the ground. This won't do it enough, though. That only sends me up that far. Okay. What if I went the other way? What if I went... Yeah, where's... I just have to know where a rift is down here, otherwise... Yeah, I can't get those. Well, never mind. Let's go back to where we were going then. Not worth it. Like, it's probably a great puzzle, I don't want to spend much more time. Usually if I go to an enclave, I go within the first 5 minutes. It's been 10 minutes and I still haven't been. So here we go. We're going to take care of this, finish off the highest viewpoint. So basically we just got 4 and 5 star puzzles left to do. That's what we're going to do. So we got a 4-star puzzle over here. And area numbers must equal region sizes, and we have viewpoints. So this 2 and the 3 can be limiting. So like I'm not going to be able to go that way. The 9 is definitely going to be touching these guys at some point. This... Let's see where we're going to start. I'm not entirely sure. There looks like a lot of places to break in. Because the thing is, like, this isn't a problem. Because I just only have to block these. I can still make that happen. This one seems like more of an issue. Because no matter what, it can't connect to any of these. So, like, if I go out this way, this 4 would have to go like that. Like that would just end up blocking those things off. And same with this 3. This 3 can only have, 3 in the area, so we can't touch any of these, because these have a minimum of 5 in the area. Like, this sees 5 cells, but then it could be like, hold on. Then it can be something like this size. It would be fine. So this would put a break there. This would force it all the way out. And this... Oh. This gives us the most movement. This can come down that far and without really any problem. But if this comes down at all, then this can't come out. In fact, the only thing that really opens up this 4 is if the 2 comes down. If it moves left or up, then it's going to restrict the 4 somewhat, but I don't know how much. Also with the 5, if I bring this over, the 5 is somewhat restricted. The 5 also cannot go all the way down. So this is the furthest the 5 can go down. It could come over this way, which would of course limit the 2. Is this one of those where I'm just going to have to make a guess and then just kind of run with it? There's no way that all the 9s will connect, because this would be all of them. Yeah, that would be all of them. But this 5 could potentially not touch any 9s. Actually, if it didn't, what would happen? Well, these could happen, but then who knows? So it actually doesn't really tell me much, because the 9s can still... I could still have a couple 9s come in. Let's see with this 5. If it connects with the 3, that's fine. This is a fine thing to do. It can do this. The 5 can also connect with the 5. Well, let's see. If this 5 connected to 5, all 5 cells that this sees would also have to be including this one, and this cell will never see that cell. So the 5 can only be connecting in this amount of space. So this 5 will connect with 3. So it can connect in this shape. It can connect in this shape and in that shape. So in all the shapes, it's going to connect this way. This is another way. Is there a way to avoid? Well, yeah, this... Yeah, so this is for sure. This is fine. This is fine. Okay, so this gave me 1 tile. That's really not great. Okay. So this 5 can never connect with this 3. Or this 3 can't connect here either. So this is where the 3 can go, but I don't know which ones it's going to be. If this was a white cell, the 3 has nowhere to go. So this is a dark cell for sure. Yeah, because there's no way to do anything here. The 5 can go as far as that, so it must go down at least 1, and then it can't go that far, so it must go this way at least once. Let's see. If this 5 can never connect to the 2, it's fine. This 6 can connect to the 5 just fine, because if the 6... hold on. Is there a way the 6 connects to 5? Because if this 6 connects to 5, the 5 will see, of course, the 5 cells that it sees, plus the 6th cell. So this is an acceptable move. This is probably the only acceptable one, because this doesn't see 5. This, I think, is the only way. Or this. Or that. Could the 6 connect to the 3? Quite possibly, because all we have to do is make sure that the 3 only sees that stuff. It cannot connect to the 9, though, so the furthest out the 6 can go... Well, here's all the cells that 6 can touch. Actually, hold on, that's really a lot. So that doesn't help me too much over here. The 3 can't connect to the 9 because it will connect to the 5. And it can't connect there anyway, it would see too many cells. Yeah. So the 9 can connect probably to this 5. This one can connect here. This would be just fine. This would be 5, 5, and 9. What would it break the game elsewhere if I did that? Because, yeah, if I did this and this, we would fill all these in. So the 3 would be filled in here, which would make the 5 come out this far. Which is going to force this here. Uh-huh. At this point, I'm just guessing, and which this could all be a wrong guess, which means all of this work is for nothing. Let's see what else we could get from that. I don't know if we could get much else from that. We could bring this over 1 space, bring this over 2, we could bring this down. Well, this already has 7, so the last 2 pieces have to be connected to this 4, no matter what. They can't not be, so we can't connect anywhere else that the 4 can't connect. This 5 would have to come down at least 1 space. This 9 could be here, but it can't go that far. So it would be this space, this space, this space, and this space are available. If the 5 comes up, then we have an issue here. No, we don't have any issue at all. I thought we'd run out of space up here. So it probably does come up simply to, you know, be more economical with the space in this direction. I should just say, if you are doing puzzle solving that's based on logic kind of stuff, it's actually really bad to make guesses and then just see if the guesses work out, because then you could end up in a position where you don't know where your mistake was. You usually want to make perfectly logical moves, and I'm not doing that. This can't go this way? This can. The trouble now is you'd only add 2 pieces. This needs 2 pieces added, neither of which this will see. So this can't connect to there. So this has to go down at least 1 space. This doesn't necessarily have to connect to this piece, but we'll see. Like, this could happen. Now we can't make. So is there any world? So this is possible. This is possible, and this is possible. So this is always a white cell. We don't want to connect this to here though. So this could come down 1 space and over, but that's as far as that'll go. So this could connect to that 5 instead of this one. Feels wrong. Feels like I want to do something like this, but we'll see. So there's this, or that. If this came down, we would force this move. And in fact, I'm looking at this from sort of a uniqueness design. Like, if I move this over here, I just end up with more space. Whereas if I do this sort of thing, I end up having a harder time with the 9. So I think this is just the way to go. And then I can start pushing this. Like, I can do this kind of thing. Like, I'm just making guesses based on, like, what would give me the most space to do things. Like, and this is the shape I saw earlier. So basically I guessed my way into that. It doesn't feel really good to solve it that way, but I did. We got another 4-star puzzle here. Oh, come on. So we don't make this pattern. Don't make 4 in a row white and connect all light cells. So first things first, we know we have to do this. This trick we learned in a different enclave, where if you have no domino rule and you have a 2, because 3 of these will always be black cells, every single corner is going to be a white cell, which means this is a black cell because we can't make 4 in a row white cells. So now we can't make 4 in a row white cells, so the 2 is going to come out one of these 2 directions. It can be this or that. But I do not know which one. Now this has been solved, so it's going to come out one of those 3 directions. So these are light cells. Because no matter what, if I do this, if I do this, if I do this, there's always this sort of thing. If I were to make this 4, it would set up a 2 like this, which I guess is possible. It doesn't really have any problems. There's no logical issues with that. All we know with this, the 4, is it can't be a straight line. This is possible. Well, if this comes up, then we definitely have to close that off. If this goes down, we don't. Well, if we do this sort of thing, this actually forces quite a lot. And I don't know if it's good, this direction here. Doesn't seem to answer if it doesn't give me any more steps. But since the 4 would have to hit corners, it would have to do it like this. If we had this, Well, the 5, I think the 5 has to be across. Here, let's go back to what I know. These are all guesses here. These are all guesses. And they're good guesses. But the 5, I think, has to be this, because you can't make 4 in a row. So any other arrangement of the 5... Oh, no, it can do this. It can make a T. It just can't do that. So we don't know what direction it can go. So it can be like this. It can be... It can't be a T down here. But it can be a T this way or that way. Is there any world where it doesn't go this direction? No. So this also has to be a white space. We know that much. If we made a white space here, we would end up blocking these off for sure. We'd know that for sure. And we'd also have our 3 complete. We could also make that a black space, which wouldn't do much. Hold on, this has to be a white space too. Oh yeah, so if we know this already, we can do this space, and that space, this space, and that space. So yeah, we know this much of the 5. We can't have that. So it's either here or there. This piece can be a white space or a black space, we don't know. Well, this would create spaces here and there. This would create spaces here and there. So there's one of those two is black at all times, the other is white. Don't think that helps me. That's got to be a white space. If I do this, then I have to mark these, which does finish these off, and it creates a problem. So I know that this must be a dark cell. Cool. This could be a light cell. If so, now we have to do this. Let's see if we run into a problem here. So far, so good with this. This might be the only way to do that. Oh. This is probably the only way to get stuff out without making 4 in a row. I think this is the one. There might have been another way I could have tested, but... Okay. So this would have to escape out this way. It can't escape out that way. This would go around like so. I think... No, I can't do that. I can do it like this. Nope, that blocks it off entirely. So I wonder if it's a mistake from all the way back here then. So that's a huge amount of like guesswork. So maybe if I put a black square there and then I try it this way. No, hold on a second. I don't know that. So if I try it this way, will I end up giving myself a better chance of success? No, because this can't be blocked. So let's go back to here, what we know. If I block this off, I end up with a straight line. I can't block that off. This has to be curved. So this does have to go this way. Which means that has to be a dark cell. So this is in fact true. So I made my mistake somewhere else. This 4 is done. No, No, we don't know those yet. We don't know what direction those are going. That has to come out. Okay, so now we have this set up. I think this is the only way I can do it. Everything else I've tried has not worked. Do I have any 3 in a rows, 4 in a rows? I can do one of these. I cannot do one of those. So if I do this, the trouble is now I need a domino. Oops, that's too far. So this, I think, this can't be a dark cell is what I know. So there has to be a light cell here. If this were a light cell, we would just have this issue. So this is a light cell, and that's a dark cell. That much I need to do. So this can still happen? No, this is still a problem. So let me figure this corner out over here. I could make this like so. This seems the only way I can get this out of here. This can be, but then it would force that. Either way, this is the escape for the the light cells there. This still feels like I'm going down the path I went before, and I'm going to run into trouble. But maybe something's different up here, which will make it okay. Yeah, I think so, because I think last time I blocked this off. I didn't block it off this time. Which means, if I do this, I'm in trouble, so that has to be the black cell. Like this. That's it. That's actually a really cool puzzle. It was hard, but it was really cool. So I think that takes care of all the 4 stars. It's time to hit those 5-star puzzles up here. So I'm prepared to take forever and a half doing these. And I will not edit the footage unless it's just unbearable, like 4 hours long. So 15 tiles remaining, so it's underclued. That's my favorite thing ever. Oh no. Mark only what is definitely true. Well, the 6 has to move 2 spaces further down than the 4. The 8 has to move 2 spaces further left than the 6. Like this. Well, this is 9. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It has to go this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These have to match. Or not match, those have to connect. This 10 can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That has to connect to the 7. Oh no. So what do I know after this point? Well, if this were a white cell, what we would know is that we block the 5 in these directions. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the 9 would have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It would have to fill out all the way, which would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more tiles. That's more than that amount. So this can't be a white cell. This has to be a dark cell in order to not overload this. I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 could just be a straight line. We don't know that yet. Because this is 7 across. That'd be 9. Huh. We know those won't connect. What else do we know? So we got 1, 2, 3. We can go 1 space over or 1 space down. This has 4. Hold on, this is 4. This has to go 2 more spaces. 3 and 5, so that it can be this or those 2. This is 7, this is 5. That's the correct amount. Because we can either go 1 space here, or we can go 1 space over this way. Oh wait, hold on. How could I possibly do this? Each one of these is 1 space under. So I could do this, and those two could go, or I could do these two. Either way, there's 2 spaces going here. Which means if the 7 went up this way, I couldn't do this. So let's say we did these 2 squares. I would also know this, that, and that. Which doesn't... so that can't go all the way up. So if it doesn't go all the way up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it has to come out at least 1 space. I don't know if I'm doing any of this right. I honestly don't know if I'm doing any of this right. Because if it wasn't underclued, I could work it out, but... Now, if this were to go this way, we can't have both of these, is what I know. So we either have this, or... this could be either of those. It could be this, or it could be that. Oh no, it can't be both of these. We just worked out that won't work out. So it's either this, or this, which makes this a forced cell. So this is seeing 6 of the 13 cells in go. They can only go 1 more cell up. So this would make 6 in a row here, 8. This has to go 1 more out this way. Is this at all correct? Oh my god. Three more. So if I did something like this, for instance, I would gain quite a bit of knowledge, so that won't work out. In fact, if I ever know what this cell is, a lot of others... No, if this is a dark cell, it doesn't tell me much about these. If this is a dark cell, it tells me a lot. Maybe there's something to know over here. This can't be it because we'd know more tiles. It could just be the one here. Or like this. I have never used Foresight before. This might be a puzzle I use it if I get stuck on it. Just for... I think this one doesn't matter. I think this one doesn't matter because it's not seen by any of these. In fact, anything that's not seen by any of these won't matter. So this tile won't matter, this tile won't matter, this tile won't matter. This won't matter, that won't matter. This won't matter, it'll never get that far down. These won't matter, those won't matter. If I do this at any point, then I know way too much stuff. So this has to be a white cell, because if it was a dark cell... But now I know too much of this. This is definitely true. Well, I'm going to do my tried and true method of restart the puzzle, go through the logic again, and if I don't get the same result, I know I made a mistake somewhere. So going back through this, 4 and 6, we got 2 and 3. So we need to rectify this so these are both equal numbers apart, 2, 4. 6 and 8 has 4 and 3. This really needs to be rectified, so that's 4 and 6. But now we have 3 and 4, so 3 and 5, we're 1 under, we're 1 under. This is how this will go. So we'll either have these 2 pieces or these 2 pieces being white. We don't know yet. And we don't have any other rules, so we're not going to get anything from that. Now over here, let's look at 5 and 9. 9, this will make 7, and the furthest up we can go is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means... Actually, can we not connect to the 5? This gives us 8. So we do in fact connect to the 5. So the furthest we can do is 2 more going in this way, which means we need to have 4 going this way minimum. So this will connect to 10. So that was correct. The 10 has to connect to the 7. We know that. But if the 5 and the 7 connect, we know that that will overload this. So if I try 5 and 7 connecting, we know we have to do this, which means we have to do this, and we're now at tiles remaining. Therefore, this has to be a dark cell. It can't be either. So we're kind of back where we were before. So if I made a logical miscalculation, it was right here. The 10... The 7 cannot go all the way up here, I don't think. Because if it does, we would be forced to do this, and we're overloaded. Therefore, it can't do both of these. But this still could be white, this still could be black. It's just that if this is black, if this is white, this is black. But if this is black, this could be white or black. So it's totally fine. So we know that the 7 can at max go 6 things vertically. Forces it one out this direction. Now, if the 7 connected here, if we connect this, now we know the 4 and the 6 have to be like this, and we're overloaded. Therefore, it cannot connect here, which means this is, in fact... But then we know... we don't know here. Because we could still have this, or we could have this. We still don't know, which is fine. So one more piece. It would have to be this one, but now we're at 0 tiles remaining. So let's do this. Let's see what we're missing. Oh, then I'm really far behind, because then if this tile should not be colored at all, then I've made a mistake somewhere back here. So let's head back to this point. This could be either. If this were a black tile, it would force this to come out one space. If this were a white tile, that's fine, but we can't have this. So we do have to bring this out, but we don't know what this is. We can't bring this out because it will force us to end this way. And it gives us 2 tiles over. So it feels like I do have to do this, but then I'm out of tiles, because I can't do this. Let's see if I've made another... No, this is exactly where I'm looking. If this is a light tile, that would force this to be dark and that to be colored. We don't want that one colored, as the tip just told us. So it does have to be a dark tile. So I've done everything correct so far. So why is this not a light tile? Or not a guaranteed tile? This one's guaranteed. Because if this were dark, we'd run out of space. That one's guaranteed. Now... if this is a dark tile... I don't know. I don't know, maybe. Maybe I'm missing something logically. That would be an obvious tell. None of this can be further solved, because if it was, it would get a lot of tiles from it. Now, over here, is there anything else I can glean? Like, if I moved this all the way up, we would know too many other tiles. Oops. We would know too many other tiles. So I can't bring this all the way up, but if I brought this here, I would know these tiles, and I would know more tiles here. I would know this much. I'd actually know that much. So this can't be a known tile. Well, it can't be a dark tile, so this does have to be a light tile. But this can't be light. It has to be dark. But then all of this would be... We would have too much of this, and we also don't have the thing done, so... Oh, so it is possible for this to be a light tile. I must be doing something very illogical. So is there a way this can be a dark? I guess it's not so much about if this is a dark tile, we know too many other tiles. It's that it can only be one of the two. Because if this is a light tile, this would force a dark tile here. No, it wouldn't, because you can still solve the puzzle. It's more about if it's this forced to be a light tile, does it tell us too much about other stuff? If this is forced to be a dark tile, this is forced to be a light tile, which doesn't really force much else. One of those two would be taken. We'd have 7 out of those 8. We would force that. Oh, that's it. That's just what it is. I don't fully understand, but I think that's what we're going to go with. That was really, really difficult. And we're going to do another really, really difficult puzzle. Hang on, everyone. Please don't be underclued. Thank you. All numbers are off by 1, which means all of these are off by 1. Well, this is already solved, so that one, I have to do that. All dark regions have area 5. Okay. So, these could all be 4s. If this were like that, we would have to fill it and make it a 6. It's not complete, so it does have to come out at least this far. That one does. We can block it, or we can do this. Either way is fine. If I did this, it would be fine. I could do this, or that. It's fine. That is fine. So this 3 can come out to be a 4. It can also be a 4 this way. Ah, no, it can't. This now hits 5. So this has to be a 6, and it can't go that way. So we do have to bring this out, and it can't be like that, so it does have to be done here. No matter what, this will come out this direction. The 6 is done. We can do this. Ah, no, we have to have 5s. Okay, okay, I think I'm starting to get how this one's going to work. 4 out of 5. This has to be blocked off. It means there we go. 4. This could be done. We're not sure yet. That has to come out. This can also come down. No, if it comes down, it has to come down 2, and it blocks that off. So this does have to be done. So either this or that. 1, 2. This could come up this way, but only 1 space, so it does have to come down at least 1 space. That has to be this set. You can go 1 more here, 1 more there. These all see 3. They're going to see either 4 or 6. Well, let's imagine this is a black square. Then we know we're going to have this filled out, and we would have to do this. And now we would have to do this, which is totally, totally fine, actually. We're totally fine so far. We're actually completely 100%. Nah, okay. So, signal logic. 2 out of 4. We'd have to do this. 4 out of 10. We'd have to make 6 out of 10. So, going back, this is a light cell. We could still have it this way, but then we'd run out of space there. So these are both light cells. Now, if we had this going on, we would have an issue there. So this is a light cell. We have to do this. This is our only hope. this one is complete as well. Which means this connects to here, and this is its own separate piece. This 5 needs to continue. I could do this. I could make it like this. Is this it? Oh, it's it. That was actually good too. Much easier than the underclude one. The thing about underclude grids is they're either the easiest thing ever or they're crazy hard because you can't just solve the puzzle. You have to only solve the applicable portions. So if it's obvious what those applicable portions are, then you're home free. And if it isn't, it feels like random guessing. So this should be the last puzzle of this enclave. Don't make squares. And, oh no. Okay, so how on earth am I going to get this? That's all I need to know is there's no squares. But that's the only rule. Then it's just the symbols. Well, somehow I can make a logical inference from this. Let's see if I did this. Well, if this came out, we would be forced to make all of those white cells. One of these would have to be dark. This would have to be dark. That would just be forced. So that we don't make squares. And we'd have to make one of these two dark in order for it not to be a square. These can't both be light. So one of these two, it doesn't matter which one, because now, well, it does matter. It means that those are not. It means that one of these two is dark, and that one is dark. So, and it means that there's two dark ones here. I'm just sort of spitballing here. This is just kind of how it has to go, where the two have to be. Then there has to be two there and two there. Two here. So we kind of alternate back and forth. I don't think this is possible, so I think this is a dark cell. Because otherwise these two are too close together. And we don't want to put them both together, I don't think. Now, if this is up here... Actually, if this is down here... Let's put it up here. Because then we can make all three of these. And then we can put one here. And we're kind of on a good track. Now, I need to have one in here, and then I can put the other one wherever I like. Actually, it has to be in there. So we're going to have one here, and then we're going to put one in that spot in here. So I don't need one here. I need one here and somewhere in there. Actually, that's set. So I don't want to do this. It has to be down there, so those are white. One of these two is going to be a dark cell. This is dark cell. This is dark cell. And then, actually, hold on. I have two squares here. What if I do it the other way? What if I do it this way? This is impossible. There needs to be a square blocking here and here. We already have that going on. So we know for sure that it cannot be this. So this has to be a dark cell no matter what. So if we try this set again, this has to be a dark cell. We know all of these. This so far is fine. There has to be a dark cell in here, which means the only place we can put it to avoid a square is there. I must have made an inference wrong somewhere in here. Because if I make all three of these, we're in trouble. Unless we do it this way. No, it would have to be here. And we're in trouble. So these cannot all be light cells. So there's a dark cell in here. And a dark cell in here. So wherever I put the dark cell here, it's got to be like that in order to prevent a problem. So if I put a dark cell here, it might not be in this spot. I could do like this. That makes a square, actually, so it does, in fact, have to be like this. Then these two... Are we just going to make a pattern now? Because I can just do this. Square. Square. There it is. That's actually kind of cool. That's kind of cool. I like that. So this part down here was just a pattern. It was just up here it was all messy. Brilliant puzzles. So that is 100% complete on this enclave. And we can get the heck out of here. I did not solve a single one of those puzzles in a brilliant, logical fashion, but they were solved, and that is all that matters. So that will end this episode here, and next time, I don't know. We'll see what I do next time. But it's been real fun. Thanks everyone for hopping along, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.